The Supreme Court comes down heavy on Delhi government as well as the centre over rising pollution levels in Delhi NCR region. In fact, taking a tough stance here, the apex court raps Delhi government after it told the court that road cleaning machines are under the MCD. The top court warns Delhi government for passing the buck, saying, don't force us to order an audit of your revenue as well as the money Delhi government spends on advertisement. In fact, the Supreme Court has also directed the centre and other concerned state governments to hold an urgent meeting by tomorrow evening. It also advises the governments to speak to farmers and make them aware of negative impact of stubble burning and the causes to the environment. It also suggests to give farmers incentives to stop stubble burning. In fact, the Supreme Court has also ordered the centre, the Air Quality Monitoring Commission, to be holding a meeting at the earliest to coordinate with NCR states. The centre is now considering to implement work from home policy as well after a rap from the Supreme Court. Delhi government too is holding a meeting to prepare future course of action against pollution menace. The matter will now be heard on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. in Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Delhi's air continues to remain toxic. It's very poor category with the AQI stands at 318 after improving marginally from what it was a day before, but it's still poisonous to breathe.
पिछले 10 दिनों से प्रदूषण की स्थिति में काफ़ी परिवर्तन हुआ है और इसलिए दिल्ली सरकार अपने स्तर पे जो प्रयास है वो कर रही है। हमारी तरफ से तो एक ही बात है कि भाई एक ज्वाइंट मिल करके एक्शन प्लान बने और उसको सभी जब फॉलो करेंगे तो उसका इम्पैक्ट नेचुरली दिखेगा।
अरविंद केजरीवाल हर बार की तरह, चाहे वो कोरोना का मामला हो, चाहे वो ऑक्सीजन का मामला हो, हर मामले में फेल हुए और अपनी नाकामी दूसरों पर फोड़ते हैं। आप फेल सरकार हो और अपनी फेलियर को छुपाते हुए आप तो सिर्फ विज्ञापन के जरिए आप अपनी सरकार चला रहे हैं। आप विज्ञापन की सरकार हो। हम मांग करते हैं आज की सुप्रीम कोर्ट की टिप्पणी के बाद, चूंकि आप फेल हो चुके हो, तुरंत से तुरंत इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी आपको।
The central government is squarely responsible. They were supposed to coordinate with the neighbouring states to ensure that this problem doesn't occur year on year. And so therefore, if people of Delhi are inhaling poisonous gases, the responsibility squarely lies with the central government.
It's very, very clear that if we want to come out of this air pollution crisis, we will have to find a solution to local domestic issues of air pollution or local domestic sources of air pollution. And the government will have to work on targeted sources. And we can't just latch on to one cause and not address the other issues that are there.
All right, now let's take a quick look at Delhi government's observation. Well, of course, the Supreme Court's observations here on Delhi government and, of course, the centre on how it's almost an emergency where the centre will have to hold an urgent meeting with the states to hold a meeting to discuss pollution levels in the national capital, at least by tomorrow evening. Also, the Supreme Court observing that controlling industry is really the problem of the centre and the state. It can't literally be pushed off. Controlling traffic is also the problem of the state, undoubtedly. Here, the Supreme Court also observing that the Delhi government must use road sweeping machines to ensure that pollution levels are brought down. Also, the Supreme Court saying, persuade farmers against stubble burning. It's not entirely their fault. It's for the centre and the state to give them alternative options. Let me cut across to Anisha Mathur joining us for more. Anisha, the Supreme Court wrapping the centre as well as the state more so, pushing the AAP government to stop passing the buck, saying that do your duties right. It's been so long. Pollution levels are high, but still no permanent solution to counter it.
Well, yes, Nabila, the Supreme Court has wrapped the centre as well as the NCR states for failing to take steps to stop pollution from various sources. Remember, the Supreme Court has taken note of all sources of pollutants today, saying, first of all, not just crop burning, something has to be done, of course, about the stubble burning, but what about the pollution sources in the city? What about traffic? What about road dust? What about construction, industry, garbage burning? What are you doing about all of these? Of course, the Delhi government coming under fire after they argued that the road dust is being taken care care of by mechanized road sweepers which are under the MCD, and we don't know how many are actually required in the city. The centre also coming under fire for failing to create a coordinated NCR plan. Remember, the GRAP, the Graded Action Plan, has been in place since 2016, but what the Supreme Court is saying is that your GRAP is a long-term solution. What about immediate step? What are you doing to curb vehicular pollution right now? Can you stop industries from operating for a few days? Can you stop the crop burning for a few days? Can the centre impose a work from home for the central government officials so that the traffic movement is reduced in the capital? What are the immediate emergency solutions that all states can take together? And that is why the court has once again asked that the Air Pollution Monitoring Committee must come together. There must be the chief secretaries of Haryana, Punjab, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh must be at the meeting which is to be held in between today and tomorrow, and come up with an immediate emergent solutions. Because what the court has noted is that the GRAP includes provisions like shutting down thermal power plants for a couple of days, shifting to cleaner fuel for the power plants, shifting to cleaner public transport, increasing the number of buses, increasing the metro connectivity. All of that are long-term plans. So what the court wants is immediate action. Can there be shutdown of schools? Can there be closure of offices? Can you impose a lockdown so that people don't come out into the streets? Can industrial pollution be reduced somehow? Can garbage burning be stopped? All of those questions have to now be answered as part of a national capital region plan. Back to you.
Anisha, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Now, we know as Delhi's air continues to deteriorate in the poor category, watch these reports filed by India Today reporters on ground, telling you really what's the current situation in the national capital, cutting across.
पिछले 10 दिनों से दिल्ली एनसीआर की हवाओं ने ऐसा कोहराम मचाया है कि सत्ता से लेकर अदालत तक सब कुछ हिल चुका है। दिल्ली हवा इस कदर जहरीली हो चुकी है और दिल्ली वालों के लिए हवा इतना बड़ा मुद्दा बन चुका है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अब इस मामले की सुनवाई हो रही है। और अगर आज के एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स की बात करें तो 318 है। कल भी कमोबेश इसी तरीके के हालात थे। हालांकि जो स्मॉग की चादर है वो धीरे धीरे दिल्ली में अब दिखाई नहीं दे रही है पिछले 1 से 2 दिन में। उसकी वजह हवाओं का चलना है, लेकिन हवा अब भी जहरीली है पूरे दिल्ली एनसीआर की, और खास तौर पर बात करें तो दिल्ली की। कैमरामैन जिया के साथ अरविंद ओझा, दिल्ली।
दिल्ली में प्रदूषण की स्थिति बेहद खराब है और धुंध कई इलाकों में देखने के लिए मिल रही है। ये प्रदूषण, ये स्मॉग दिल्ली वालों के लिए एक बड़ी चिंता बना हुआ है। हम तस्वीरों के जरिए भी आपको दिखाते हैं कि क्या हाल है मौसम का, और ये हाल दिन भर कुछ इसी तरह का रहने वाला है। यहाँ पर सबसे स्कूल, कॉलेज और शिक्षण संस्थान को 20 नवंबर तक बंद कर दिया गया है, और साथ ही साथ दिल्ली में जो निर्माण कार्य है उस पर पूरी तरह से रोक लगा दी गई है। किसी भी तोड़फोड़ के काम पर भी पाबंदी लगा दी गई है। सबसे अहम बात यह भी है कि दिल्ली में जितने भी सरकारी दफ्तर हैं, यहाँ काम करने वाले अफसर और कर्मचारियों को आज से वर्क फ्रॉम होम करना होगा। उन्हें दफ्तर आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। और इसके अलावा दिल्ली सरकार लॉकडाउन के लिए एक प्रस्ताव तैयार करेगी।
Now, of course, there are various reasons that contribute to pollution levels in Delhi particularly. I'm going to take you through the contributors, the major contributors that's resulted in poisonous air that people breathe in the national capital, Delhi. Of course, to start with, we're looking at stubble burning, which is the major chunk of the pollution levels at 26%, that's contributing to poisonous air in Delhi. And then we're looking at vehicular smoke. Of course, traffic and vehicular smoke resulting in the other 25% of pollution into the air. And then we have secondary particles, which constitutes to about 30% of air pollution. And of course, coming down to solid waste burning, which is at least 8%, as we see here, that's contributing to poor air in Delhi. And then, of course, soil and, of course, coal and fly ash as well, that contributes to 5%. And right above, we're looking at soil and road dust, which contributes to 4%. Construction activity, on the other hand, that contributes to at least 2% of pollution into Delhi.